Welcome back to Nelly BTV. My name is Nelly, and in today's episode, I want to bring you some of my initial thoughts and impressions of Hades. Now, Hades is an ARPG roguelite that released back in 2020 and was developed by the guys and gals over at Supergiant. Now, I personally bought Hades on a Steam sale back in February for somewhere around like $10, which is a steal for this game. I'll just say that right now. But ultimately, I'm just now getting around to it because the sequel released and it looks pretty good and I want to get to it. And normally for a game like this, I wouldn't play the first. I would just skip to the sequel, but the first seems special in its own right, so we're going to talk about that today. Hades, if you don't know, takes place in the fictional world inspired by Greek mythology. You play as Zagreus, Hades' son, who is trapped in the underworld, and he is working for his father. He's pushing papers, he's cleaning areas, he's folding sheets, doing whatever his father tells him to. He wants to escape, though, to the living world, but in order to do so, he has to fight through the various trenches of the underworld, coming across various enemies and bosses, dealing with traps and environmental challenges along the way. Hades is an isometric ARPG roguelite, which basically means you have a fixed camera position centered over the player, and you battle through waves of enemies in progressively more complex areas. Each area you complete will provide you with access to the next area and an upgrade. This upgrade can be health related, currency related, or something called a boon that will apply an effect onto your weapon or any natural ability you start the run with. The gameplay is designed for you to essentially die before you reach the end out of 99% of your runs, so when you die, and you will die, you're sent back to the start, and certain currency you gain in the run can be spent in this starting area. When you're ready, you equip the next weapon you want to use and start again. It progressively gets more complex from here, and like I said at the start of the video, you are meant to die most of the time. Feel very underpowered at the start, allowing each new area to feel like a challenge to actually work towards and not just something to run through each and every time. The game is actually kind of difficult. I'm sure some people are going to have an easier time with it because they're just built different, but I personally felt it was a perfect difficulty as someone who usually plays most of any game on the normal difficulty, usually right above story mode, and who finds those at least slightly challenging. A lot of games I'll kick up to max difficulty to get a little bit of a workout in, but most of the time I'm on normal. It feels great, and this feels like that normal difficult to me. Obviously, some people will find it easier, some people will find it harder, but I think overall it's pretty well balanced. I will say that a lot of the weapons at the start do feel like they do the same thing, and especially if you're just button mashing the whole time, yeah, they're going to feel like the same weapon. But if you start to learn how each weapon works and what they're best in and what boons work well with them, you do start to understand the complexities and slight nuances in each weapon, and you start to appreciate each weapon for the perfect scenario that it works best in. This genre was specifically chosen to help tell this specific story, seeing as you are the son of Hades, the ruler of the underworld, and you are meant to die over and over again, and that plays into how the story itself plays out and what you are trying to accomplish. You are, in fact, a minor god of the underworld, dying over and over again, trying to escape. Like the gameplay, the story progresses the more abilities, items, and areas you upgrade, allowing for new voice lines and even interactive cutscenes to help tell this story. And that's right, this game has voice acting, putting some 2025 titles to shame. I know there's a significant amount of people who don't care for voice acting. I float in and out of that group. Personally, kind of could have done without it here. I don't think it really affects the gameplay all that much, especially because I read the text quicker and pick up the information faster than the voice actors can tell me. That's not to say anything bad about the voice actors who act in the game, they all do a pretty good job at representing their character, Greek gods, and the myths that exist within them. But personally, I skip it most of the time. It's not very repetitive, it's just very skippable. It's very melodramatic a lot of the time, where characters can just sort of, well, and you're already done reading everything that they have to say, so you just kind of skip it and move on. I feel very bad for the voice actors involved, but they got paid, and I'm trying to play this game. So yeah, personally, my platform of choice has been the Steam Deck. As you can see, I have about 25 hours in this, and this is the LCD Steam Deck, so not as much battery life as the OLED, not as much of a good screen, not as high of a refresh rate, but it's damn beautiful on this thing. I mean, even in the camera right now, you could probably tell it's not OLED, but you probably don't care. It's gorgeous. And out of the 20 hours that I've played on this, or sorry, the 25 hours that I've played in total, I've probably played 20 hours on the Steam Deck and 5 hours on PC just to get some footage for the actual video that you're watching. But ultimately, this is a portable game. It's on Switch. It's on Switch 2. Hades 2 is a Switch exclusive title to consoles right now. So this game is perfect for handheld play. I don't see it being as enjoyable on the TV unless you are either sick or have a weekend to yourself with nobody else in the house. Otherwise, this is a portable title through and through. It's gorgeous on just about any screen. That art style is gorgeous. 2D holds up a lot better than a lot of games that came out in the same year, 2020, and maybe I'll reference that more in the full review, but these are just my initial thoughts. And finally, I just want to mention that personally, I was very interested in the multiple myths and pantheons and religions that exist in human society, specifically the Greek gods. I was a huge avid reader of the Percy Jackson books. I tried to read some other Rick Riordan stuff, but it just wasn't working. That Percy Jackson series was just so goated, at least as a kid anyways. I listened to it recently. It's all right. It's a kid's story. I'll just say that. This is more mature, a little bit more dramatic. Yeah, definitely more dramatic than Percy Jackson, but ultimately, I don't know, Zagreus is cool. Hades is a bit of a dick. I just can't, there's no real character sticking with me other than maybe Athena, and it's specifically because of her ability sets and her boons that she provides for you. Other than that, Cerberus, there is a floating Medusa head that I forget the name of, which she's just very sporadic. The Valkyries, spoiler alert, the Valkyries, one of them's pretty interesting. You get a few lines of dialogue from her outside of combat, and it is pretty interesting. Other than that, yeah, I mean, some of the bosses are actual, like, friendly characters to your character Zagreus, because they're also minor gods, and they know that if one of them is going to battle each other, then you know that that's probably the best person to fight, because anybody else is probably going to be outranked or way too powerful. Like, fighting Zeus as a minor god probably ain't going to work out, but fighting, Joe Schmo over there also isn't going to be too fun either. So you see these clashes, and you see a lot of the bosses you grow a rapport with as Zagreus, and it's fun to try and compete and fight with them. And although I am at the point where a lot of dialogue and voice lines and text is being repeated, it still is fun to see just the dynamic, really. It's very dramatic, but it also doesn't take itself too seriously. But yeah, I really don't have anything else to say without going into full spoiler and review territory, so we're going to save that for a few videos later. I just want to take the time right now to announce that the next 2 videos, I know I said the next one video, but the next 2 videos are going to be not specifically on a video game. It's going to be a more generalized topic dealing with more personal accomplishments and goals that I want to achieve. And you'll understand what I'm talking about when those come out. But after that, I promise I'm working very digitally. Is that the right word? I'm working very hard. I'm working very diligently to get that full Expedition 33 review out. I'm very excited to talk about all of it in its entirety. I am just about done. But then right after that, we have this review for Hades, and then a couple surprises. Like I said, I do have quite a few videos planned for the next few months. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you're excited to see what comes next, and yeah, it's been Nelly. This is Nelly BTV, and thanks for watching. Peace.